We can now bring in France 24, Shirli Sitbon. Shirli, great to see you. Firstly, witnesses described what happened in the city of Derna as a tsunami after these two dams collapsed, and you have images to show what happened.
Yes, we can look at the satellite images. Of course, as we see those images, we know that those dams were put in place to protect the city and to protect populations. We can see them both here at the top and at the bottom, those two dams, which meant to stop flooding, prevent flooding. But this time there was so much water that it burst the dams and the flooding. This is just before the actual flooding started. And once the water arrived, it burst the dams, and we will be able to see how we can see it here. It was actually destroyed, and the images of the whole city. Well, it shows that the water, it just swept away homes, and the city was largely destroyed. This is what happened, and of course, there's questioning. The storm doesn't come from nowhere. We knew it was heading towards Libya, and so critics say, how come no operation was put in place to displace people before it arrived? But the local government said we couldn't know it would be this powerful. It never happened before. So yes, they're now facing criticism because also there was no maintenance apparently in the area with those dams, and some people say it was poorly managed.
Surely, collapsed dams are nothing new. Unfortunately, this happens elsewhere, but expert groups had recently labeled Libya a country at risk.
Yes, because the situation in Libya is that a lot of its shorelines, they're really low-lying areas, and this is where the population lives. So these people are at risk. Also, well, temperatures are extremely high there. We know that there's global warming, but in Libya, there's a lot of desertification. The weather last summer, temperatures hit 50 degrees. There's also, deforestation. The water levels are moving up. There's erosion. And, we know there's also a conflict, so experts can get there to help the population. And the soil is very dry, so when it rains, when it floods, the flooding is worsened, damages are worse. That's the problem. But of course, we can see other images from elsewhere. This is in Libya, of course, but elsewhere in the world, there also have been the same scenes. Even countries like the United States and also Indonesia and others, those dams, this is in the US, for example, dams have been bursting for years. And experts say we need to calculate better how to manage those areas because sometimes we built them several decades ago, those dams, those reservoirs. They were meant to preserve a certain quantity of water and to protect the area if there's a certain quantity of rain that falls on the ground. But now there's more rain. The episodes are more violent, so we need to rethink everything and manage them in a better way. This is Indonesia, and there was also a catastrophe in Brazil a few years ago with a dam and a mine. It was also toxic. You could see some images of that just after these. So that's a global problem. And experts are actually having a network across the world to help one another, one country to the next.
Now, European states want to adopt cyclone-proof engineering rules, and many countries know them well, don't they?
Yes. So first, they say we need to be inspired by nature, bring back what was taken away. And also homes need to be designed in a different way. For example, this is in Florida, and we can see there was a bit of a devastation. But this home, which is like a round bunker, it stayed up. Why? Well, because it was designed in a way that the wind does not destroy it, does not damage it. And there's also, for example, traditional building with bamboo, which is also very resistant because at the same time it can take everything that you face when there's a cyclone, the winds, the flooding and everything, and it just goes back to place. It seems like it's frail, but actually it's a very good construction material. So there are various rules because of course it's not just the rain, it's not just the flooding, it's mudslides, and the building today has to change. And as I said earlier, Also, there's also the roofs that can't be very high because the wind cannot tear them down. They need to be very solid. And also, the windows have to be small. So, because if they're large windows, then the wind can just, cause more devastation. And even the cities themselves have more, not to stop destroying the sand dunes, bring back the mangroves, protect cities, protect the shores. That's basically something that used to be there, but was taken away by, the population to build nice homes on the coast. Well, now that needs to change.
Shirley, thank you very much for that. Shirli Sitbon there.